you, I think, without spending a dime on ads, could command an Instagram, TikTok, YouTube world, and LinkedIn world. Those 4 places. And it would not take much more than what you already do. But what it would take, and this might be the harder part, is that it would take you being able to film a renovation or a custom now, like in the next few days or weeks. Do you have a project happening right now?
I actually just finished one.
We just finished one.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we're going over there.
Okay.
And we just have like some final touch-ups, but it was not like great and lofty. It was like just a basic remodel, but it still looks good.
Even
it
if
still
it looks good because it was one way before, and it looks different and better now.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Do you have footage from it being put together?
Yeah, so I haven't posted it because we're not done, but that's going to be like my next project.
Yeah, so when I see your videos today, I see what you're doing. I understand what you're doing, but I don't know that you take the viewer on the full journey as you could. And so what I think, I really like the angles you get, and I like that it's like from your point of view, and like you're doing this and you're playing the music, and you know, people know this is how we show up, which I think is really good. But I think that a little bit more planning of exactly what this video is going to accomplish, like what the intention is, the intent, and then what the outcome is supposed to be. If you put up, like, let's say it's the same house, because you're not going to have a bunch of houses right now. Let's say it's this house. You have footage already, how it started, like, and what is it? Like, how it started, where we are today, or whatever it is. I forgot what mean is. But, like, you have that footage, but then you take it all the way to the finished product, and you really show us. What it reminds me of is there's a woman, and I can't remember her name, but she was on Amy Porterfield's podcast. And she didn't do any Instagram, any of that before. She just started during COVID. What did she do? She put up videos of her transforming small patches of of gardens. So she would create, put the box around the garden, and then she would like show you how it looks afterwards. And then over that, she would put words, a script that she would say, or she would put like, 5 things I bet you didn't know about gardening. And they would get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And it just drove people to her course that she had of how do you transform your own garden. So for you, I think what you have done is laid the foundation, no pun. I think you laid I know, I'm corny, don't worry. I think that you've laid the foundation for everything that you need in order to create this amazing, like, full-scale content marketing. So I'm not going to tell you not to spend money on ads, because I think you should do what you want to do, and I would love to see how that works out. I also think that there is a way to spend an hour or two just going over at some point, just like, this is exactly what the video could be. This is what you'll talk about, the topic you'll talk about very clearly. This is what, so one of them would be, this is remodel. I think those would be the most popular. Like, this is my company. We employ da-da-da-da many people. We're in Oak Cliff right now, da-da-da. And it went from this to this, because people are going to look at that and see a 20-second makeover and say, I want her to do that to my house, or I want to buy a house from her. Another type would be, here are 3 things that you need. Like, you just taught me, and I wrote this down. I promise you I didn't know this stuff before. You just taught me you need the land, you need to make sure that there's utilities, then you need an architect to build, da-da-da. All of that stuff that's like second nature to you, most people don't know, especially your target audience, which is me and others, right? Us. So if you also become the person who is like giving so much free game about something, and you're only really going to talk about like 3 or 4 topics over and over and over again, because every day someone's going to discover you, and you're just going to like be a teacher. And in being a teacher, 99% of the people will watch it and say, oh my gosh, I now know that. That's so cool. And the 1% are going to say, I like that. I want her to do it for me. Right? And then the big play, I think, is you do this on Instagram. but then you also, you have a version that goes on TikTok, and then a version that goes on LinkedIn, and then a version that goes on YouTube. And you have longer form for YouTube. And that, I think on YouTube is where you could really have a breakout for what you do. You could, even if it's like, you don't need to have 1 million people see it. Let's say you have 1,000 people, 400 people see this video, but it's a 15-minute, 30-minute video where you're with the client and you're walking them through the process. Or you're literally walking them through the home that they're seeing for the first time. Like, oh my God, like reaction videos.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, there's so many different types of videos you could have. Even if you wanted to choose 1 or 2 of those, or 3, like education, makeover, and reaction. Boom. And then every single day, you're posting something. Something is coming from that. And I promise you, you could have posted something 7 days ago, edit it, take off the first 3 seconds, put a different song on it, put different words to it, and put it out there again. It's going to capture people. And even if you had like 400 people see that 15-minute video where the person is seeing their dream home for the first time, 40 of those people are going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to spend this year being able to afford that. And they're going to get in touch with you because on every one of these videos, every single one of them, you're also going to have a really easy to go to website. This is the website. This is how you apply for more information if you want one of my people to call you. This is how you look at these other videos I have on here about like this 60-minute renovation video that's like, you know, only a few people are going to watch, but those few people are going to be customers. And this is how you apply if you're ready to get started right now. You don't even want a phone call. This is how you apply. Put your deposit down. Da, 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 right? So I'm just kind of going through it fast, but this is like the vision for it because I think you can do your 2 million, especially because you have all that foundation you have created, and you have like this other opportunity. It's like so clear to you, and then you have the call it a blessing or the luck of. You also, not everybody can do like video. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are awkward or some people are like, they don't have that spark to them. You have it. Because I've seen it through the year, like a year or 2 with you. So you have it and you're so relatable that you know what's going to happen a year from now or even sooner? You're going to have people walking up to you in Dallas and they're going to be like, oh my God, like I love your videos. You make me want to have my own house. You're going to have that in addition to your customers.
I'm already having that.
You have that. See,
I'm having that already.
So tell me about that.
Well, not like walking up to me, but people now, like since I've been in this program and I've kind of been like trying to open up more and like present myself more online, I've attracted more people and they're the clients that I want. So there's his name is Lubbock Smith, and he like reached out to me. He just won Community Award of the Year through Cosign. Okay. So it's like he's like a big deal here in Dallas.
And he saw you.
And he messaged me, and he wants to partner with me. Amazing.
Oh, we didn't even get into that. Like how much more opportunity will happen because of that, even beyond your customers, the partnerships, the opportunities. There's going to be somebody who either sees this video or sees the 12th video you put out in 2024, and they're going to come to you and say, I want to finance you. Don't worry about your credit. I see what you're building here. I will back you, right? That's just going to happen because of what you're putting out into the world and the good, what you have. Do you have customers from the past who would go on camera and give a testimonial?
The one I'm finishing now, like we did great. Like she loved it.
If you have this customer who you said tomorrow you're going to go over to their house?
Okay, tomorrow, so
that is another opportunity to get really great footage and just say, you know, on your next house, I'll give you 5% off, or on your, you know, if you refer a friend, I'll give you a referral fee. If you let us film us talking about this, or you walking through the house or something, because that's going to be like gold. That kind of content is gold for you, and it's evergreen. So you're going to have, yes, you're going to put it up in January, but you're also going to see it in June. You're going to see it next June, and then the one after that, because seeing your first house you know, for the first time is like, that doesn't get old. That's really cool. And every single day someone's going to notice that. How does that resonate with you when I say that?
No, yeah, I love that. And I actually had that idea. So you just like confirmed it for me.
Yes.
So the lady that we did her remodel, it's so wonderful. She was actually on the panel that selected me for this program.
Oh.
She's another Latina, and she's like the CEO of a bank. And I'm like, and she called me.
That's amazing.
And so like that's just like another connection. And she already told me she wants to like keep working with me. And she's in Austin. Like I haven't even met her in person.
Yeah.
And I've already like we already made transactions. She already paid me, and I'm like,
great. So this is another lesson too that you've learned is like a very specific type of homeowner you want, client you want, and you obviously you're not going to do anything that is discriminatory whatsoever. But how cool would it be to have certain of your videos be only in Spanish? And you're just speaking to that professional Latina who is in their 30s or their 40s, who lives in, you know, within 60 miles of this point, and you're just talking to her, even though other people will see it. This is who you're talking to, and you find her in that crowd. Again, it's about like being known for something, being the person to go to, the go-to person in ... So for you, it's in Dallas for, you know, who is your customer? We talk about that in Spark, right? Who is your ideal customer? And then how do you find them? How do you reach them over and over again? And what do you have to say once you reach them, right? So when you think about, I want to hear this, I want your honest answer. When you think about posting on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok, how do you feel about that?
Fine.
You do?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So why haven't you done that?
No excuse. I just it's sometimes it's a lot, like, because I'm doing it all, and then like I try to connect my Instagram to my TikTok. I don't know, I feel overwhelmed sometimes, so I kind of just been comfortable and just kind of just sticking to what I've been doing, but I'm working on it. I'm like, you know, getting out of my shell more and more, and I just feel like this year is just like gonna be wonderful because of all the things that are happening. But my intention is to build, like, especially on YouTube, and I'm kind of like waiting on like to get my first deal, so that way, because I'm gonna document all of that. Like once I'm buying the land and looking at land, like that's where I feel, I guess, like I don't feel as confident because I don't have it yet.
You don't have it, but you do have this other stuff that you do. So it might be that you just need to do one more custom build while you're waiting for everything else to attract all the other stuff, right? Because if I knew that each time I posted or each week the combined amounts of my posts brought me a new client, or each month it brought me a new client, you better believe I'm going to post every day. And you don't know that for sure today, but there's a reasonable expectation that you would attract a lot more people. So right now you post how often on Instagram?
At least I think once a week.
Once a week? Yeah. On Instagram, do you post anywhere else?
No, like my Instagram's connected to Facebook, so it's like automatically. So I'm posting to Facebook.
Okay.
And then TikTok, no, it's just like randomly. I need to be more consistent on that.
Let's say that in a given month you post 10 times total across across Instagram and Facebook, and maybe a TikTok every once in a while. That's 10 times, and you've already seen that brings you people's attention, and sometimes it turns into clients. What would happen if you had 100 posts a month?
Yeah, more money.
Right, right. So it's just true. Like, it just makes sense if you have that. So, and then if you say, oh, it's 100 times a month, but really, if you break that down, it's about 3 or 4 a day, and that's across everything. So let me show you what I do. So I'm not preaching like something that I've been doing for years. I just started really paying attention to this because I consumed the information and people said it, and I knew I knew it. I've been following Gary for 7 years. So I knew that that's what you're supposed to do, but it had to really hit me. And I said, you know what? I finally said, let me just try it. Let me just see. And so I was like posting over here. So I always post on Instagram, cool, but all the other stuff is like pulling teeth, right? So what I did was I put all of the things I want to post on in the same, on my iPhone, like on the same folder. So I don't know if you can see this, if you can get that, zoom in on it. So I put it on the same folder on my iPhone, and every morning after I wake up, you know, kind of think about a few things, I go one by one. And I say, what am I going to post? Okay, I'm going to post this. Usually I start at Instagram because that's my favorite. And I post a reel. And I go through all the stuff I have and I post a reel. And then I take that reel and I just go back. Okay, here's LinkedIn. Should I post this on LinkedIn? And if I wrote a caption, does the caption on Instagram need to be a little bit different on LinkedIn? Probably so, because it's a different audience. So I change the caption. Then I go TikTok, same thing. Then I go to Threads and say, you know what? I'm not going to post a video on Threads because it really doesn't do well on Threads, but I'm going to post a caption from it because I explain so much in that caption. I post that. And then I go to X, but whatever. And then YouTube. And then I do shorts for reels. If it's a reel, I'll put it as a short, which I learned. I was so against it. I never did it because everybody was talking about shorts. I'm like, I'm not 14. I'm not going to do it. I don't care about Mr. Beast, although he's really great. That's not my thing. And then I actually said, well, let me just look at this. Let me see what other people are posting on shorts. And I started looking at it and really looking at it. I'm like, oh, it's basically Reels, which I love. It's just on a different platform and gives you another opportunity for a different audience. Cool. So I started doing that. So every day I put something on. I didn't know that either. Yes. So, right. So it just seemed like this thing over here. But once you understand, like, these different platforms are pretty much the same because they're copying each other. And they have different personalities. You'll start to see. Then yesterday or the day before, I posted about something about Mark Cuban. And I posted on across everything, but on Threads and on X, I only put the words. I didn't put a video. I took a screenshot of this. At one point yesterday, both X and Threads had exactly 533 likes on that post for whatever reason. And I don't really get that many likes on posts. It's just when I was intentional. I mean, obviously I've gotten thousands of likes, but I haven't been intentional. I haven't been on X in 7 months because of, you know, life. But when I got intentional about it and said, I'm going to just do it every time. Well, the first few posts on Threads and X, they got maybe 4 likes or 17 likes or whatever. It's like, oh, that's cute. But I didn't stop because I wasn't getting a lot of likes. I was like, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. And then I woke up and I had 533 likes on both at the same time. I thought that's so crazy that they both had the same. And then they changed a little bit. And so what you can do is, so that it doesn't become overwhelming, you can batch. So batching, have you heard of that? Where you film something, let's say for an hour, you film, you know, an interview, someone interviews you, I have people who do that, or you can just film yourself, whatever, and you do it and maybe even change tops a couple of times. And you do that for like an hour, you can get like 30 days or 60 days worth of posts from that. Because you're only taking 15 seconds, you know? So you can batch, you did that, and you don't have to do it again for a few weeks or a few days. Or you can just incorporate it into everything you're doing. So I'm going to be over here anyway. Let me go ahead and film. Let me film a little bit. And then maybe on Saturdays is when I'm planning out what I'm posting when, right? And to put them all in the same folder is a great hack because honestly, it took so much time away, like off of what it was taking me to do this. Because I go search for and do all this. But it's like boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. And then I put a number of how many of these posts do I want to have in a given week. Well, I want to have anywhere from 70 to 100 in a week. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot. But then I did the math. I have 4 or 5 different platforms, and it takes me maybe 15 minutes to post on all 4 of them. And if I do that a couple of times a day, I'm already at like, what, let's say if I have 5 platforms twice a day, so 10 times, that's 70 already. That's 70, that's 280 a month. And it's not just to do it for no reason, it's because every single time the cumulative number of views is seen, somebody is seeing that and is going to buy my book. someone's going over and looking at Your First Million Live to go to the event. Someone is going over and saying, let me go from this short or from this reel and go look at a 30-minute video that she has over there on YouTube. And then they're like, oh my God, I actually like her. I like the way she's talking. I like what she has to say. She has an interesting background. Let me go consume some more. And let me just kind of pay attention to what she's doing. You know, it's so fun to get like people who say, I've been consuming your content for about a week now and ... That's really cool, right? Let me go listen to this podcast. So there's so much you can do. You can interview people. You can, you know, you just turn it into like, you pronounce your name, let me do this one more time. You pronounce your name Monica, correct? Okay, so it's the Monica Show.
Yeah.
Right? It is. And it's like, if you are the lighthouse that's bringing all of the attention this way, and then that attention is creating opportunity for your employees, for your contractors, for the people themselves who are buying, then you can do this perpetually. You say, you know, it's worth it. It's worth it for me to spend an hour once a month filming, even though it's kind of silly. Okay, I'm going to put makeup on, I'm going to put my shirts on, going to film, going to have somebody in my family member is going to hold the camera. But then I'm going to take that and I'm going to put some words over it on a reel, then download that reel because it has the words now, put that on TikTok, put that on YouTube Shorts. And yes, it's a little silly, but also I get 3 like real leads a week. And for every 10 of those, 1 becomes a client. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm definitely going to be doing that. And I have been more intentional. It's just like I just need to be more organized. I just need to be more organized. That's a weakness of mine, I'm like scattered brain. I'm like thinking of this and then on my phone creating content and doing 1,000 other things. So
do you have an executive assistant or any kind of organizational person?
No, not yet, but I do, and that's another like on my list. Yeah, definitely. Like in order to scale, I have to. So
you have to. And when you say it's on your list, do you mean it's on your list, or do you mean I'm going to do it by January 15th?
I'm going to do it as soon as I get another contract.
So it's about money that's holding you back? What about a fractional person? Like, could you afford $500 right now for someone to put you in a position where you're not forgetting things, you do have 10 times the content up, and you have less stress and more time?
Honestly, it's just I'm not able to afford it.
You're not able to afford it?
No, like this year it's like we were literally selling like tacos and burritos at one point.
Did I see a video about that?
I don't know.
You were saying like the hustle's real and like you showed.
Oh yeah.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we like, you know, because we didn't have business, so we were like, well, we got to do what we got to do.
Okay, so
that's
can I be real with you? Like, I'm gonna be real with you. You didn't say yes, so can I be real with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you say it? Why you?
No, yeah.
Why you like? No, yes. I prefer you wouldn't.
You always real.
Yeah,
though.
I would be real with you. If I was in that situation, which I have been multiple times, you couldn't stop me from starting this situation right now. Like, this wouldn't be a casual conversation. It would be like an urgent emergency. Like, okay, let me go home right now and film 10 clips and get the calendar going. And if it's too much for me to organize, let me get a friend, a family member, come work with me for 30 minutes. And we're going to work on this. And when I get my first check, I got you. Like, it has to be an emergency for you because it seems to be one, right? Yeah. And so, like, if I'm saying to you, $500 is what it would take to hire a fractional EA, executive assistant, or something like that who would help you get like 4x what you're getting right now because of the things that they take off your plate, the things you'd be able to do. And you're saying, well, I can't because of the money. There has to be some way that you go from zero to can't to, yeah, I'm gonna make that happen. Because I really believe that'll break things out for you. But if you don't, the coming out of your shell will take longer. And you'll be looking at this in a few months and you'll be like, because it sounds like to me, and this is okay, but it just sounds like you're waiting on the big thing to happen.
Yeah.
There are some really actionable steps you can take right now that are in your control that you can start now before the big thing happens to accelerate the big thing happening.